Look, you know it. Some people are like me and they just have that it. That way that when they communicate with you, it energizes other people and it causes them to want to be around you. That is something that's commonly referred to as charisma. And look, this is not a little matter. Being charismatic improves the way people look at you, and it really will impact the future success you will have in your life. And here's why. It's because charismatic people inspire other people to act and take what they say seriously. Because of the importance of charisma, really you'll find that social scientists have really been fascinated with it for decades. There's some good news about charisma. It is no longer viewed as this mysterious gift that only a few people today are born with. It's something that anyone can develop, and research confirms it, that there are certain behaviors that actually make you appear more charismatic, and if you follow them regularly, it'll grow your charisma. So today, I'm going to go over 7 habits that'll help you appear more charismatic, and if you make them a regular part of your life, it'll actually develop your charisma. So, let's get at it. Hey gentlemen, I'm Rob Johnson. Welcome to the Legacy Gentleman YouTube channel. The first thing you need to do to grow your charisma is to exude confidence. Look, one of the qualities that you actually associate with a charismatic person is that they really do exude confidence. Numerous studies has found though that if someone acts confident, it actually causes others to give more weight to the things they say and cause you to actually want to do what they say. In fact, there was a Carnegie Mellon study that found that displaying confidence was even more influential in establishing trust than past performance. Look, what's interesting about the science of confidence is that even if you don't feel confident, merely displaying confidence will give a positive impact on your behavior. This reminds me of my time in the Navy. In the Navy, there are some qualifications that actually take you years to actually get. And one of them for me was when I was becoming a surface warfare officer. You had a ship full of officers who actually already had this qualification. They would randomly walk up to you and ask questions that you really needed to know to earn this qualification. And one of the things I learned early on was even if I didn't know the answer, to answer it with confidence. Answer it like I knew the answer was right, and like, hey, yeah, you asked me this random question I have no idea about, I would answer it confidently. I know plenty of times I was wrong, but because of the way I answered it with such confidence, they were like, yeah, good job, and they walked away. And they probably went to go look it up because I answered with such confidence that they were like, hey, you know what? It's not even worth it. That's exuding confidence, and that's one of the things I learned that you really need to do, and it also improves your charisma. All right, the next thing, gentlemen, is to be attentive. People like to be around charismatic people because they make them feel valued. One of the people that I heard this most about was about former President Bill Clinton. No, not that Bill Clinton, not the skinny grandfatherly, the real Bill Clinton. Yeah, that one. The one with the cigar up the hoo-hoo. That guy, he was super charismatic. But one of the things that I heard people say that even like in a line of people who lined up to see him and cheering his name, he would stop and shake hands and talk to people, and he made them feel like they were the only person in the world. That is what charisma is. And that's why people love the real Bill Clinton. Like Bill Clinton, charismatic people train themselves to be attentive to those they interact with. One of the behaviors that's actually linked with attentiveness is eye contact. Numerous scientists have found that eye contact heavily influences likability, trustworthiness, and attractiveness. Charismatic people focus their gaze and listen so intently that people are often moved by it. The reason eye contact is such an important part of charisma is because it both helps convey and create attentiveness. When you focus your eye on something, your mind typically concentrates on it. And when you're focused on somebody, they tend to focus on you. So that's a way to do it. Increase your attentiveness with eye contact. Next, radiate warmth. Charismatic people are often described as warm and approachable. See, research has shown that when you are perceived as a person that's warm, people are more likely to trust you and embrace your ideas. One of the most powerful yet underappreciated ways is by smiling. I grew up in the 90s with NWA and Ice Cube saying, brothers always gotta show their teeth like it was a bad thing. And after I got older, I was like, I'm around people in business and I actually need to loosen my face up and smile at the appropriate time and actually be able to smile. For me, just kind of half smile, which is what I do, it actually opens up the warmthness that people actually perceive you as. Studies have shown that smiling causes people to consider you more approachable and, more importantly, more competent. Even more fascinating, research by Dr. Robert Zurich shown that when facial muscles contort for a smile, blood flows to your brain increases and it lowers your brain's temperature. This will naturally produce a feeling of pleasure and puts a mood of optimism throughout your body. Smile at another person, they perceive you as warm and in a positive light, which are the hallmarks of charisma. So smiling has often been shown as a mirror neuron in the brain, which means when you smile, it causes other people to reciprocate. The next way to increase your charisma is to convey passion. See, look, charismatic people are passionate, and being around them motivates others to act. This positive energy is one of those qualities that make charismatic people more alluring. And look, research shows that strong emotions are contagious. There's a term for this called emotional cognition. That is why politicians, instead of trying to get you to their cause by reason, they actually try to get your strong emotions such as anger or hurt. So think about this very recent thing that happened. 50 years ago, 9 men decided what the definition of abortion would be. Recently, a court made up of white men, black men, women, and Latino women decided that instead of them deciding, you will get to decide that. And instead of just saying that's a good thing, politicians whip up our emotions to make them think that that's the bad thing. And what they decided 50 years ago should be what we do now and for the rest of our lives. It has been spun that you need to be angry and then get in your emotions, and the people you've elected now will do it, because that's what politicians do. They don't want you to use reason, they want you to use emotion, because if you're using emotion, they can get you to act now. And hey, but that's politics, right? The next thing you can do is have a cause. This is what charismatic people do. They talk about ideas bigger than themselves. Sociologist Max Weber, whose really study of charisma sparked this whole interest in it, he noted that one of the core components of actually being charismatic is having a clear vision of the future and a desire to boldly advance there. One legendary example of this is Steve Jobs, the former head of Apple. See, he was attempting to recruit Pepsi CEO John Scully for a job, and he asked him, hey, do you want to just sell sugary drinks for the rest of your life, or do you want to be part of changing the world? Scully actually talked about how, appealing to his sense of wanting to have a noble cause is what was really captivating to him and why he ended up joining Apple. Here's another thing to think about. Oddly enough, some people aren't even considered as charismatic until they talk about a cause they actually believe in, and that idea actually inspires them to exude this natural charisma, this quality that makes them that charismatic leader that people want to follow. So find your cause and live it out and become legendary. Another charismatic trait is believing in yourself. Everyone routinely has doubts about themselves. In fact, it's like a phenomenon called imposter syndrome. Look, to be sure, everybody, including charismatic people, they feel fear and they feel doubt. But what you don't do is you don't allow that to sabotage your interactions with other people. See, one of the ways charismatic people rise above the imposter syndrome is by refocusing their brain on past success. So think about it like that. A growing body of research suggests that you can boost your belief in yourself by reflecting on your past wins. So then when you announce and tell yourself that your past success is evidence of your future success and your current right now success, that is going to change your whole outlook. It is a very simple action that has been proven to prime your mind to behave in a ways that's consistent with your statement. So guys, if you're going up there and you're like, hey, I'm gonna talk to this girl, but she's kind of hot, remember your past success with chicks, and that'll help you pick up the new one. That's how it works, yo. And the last trait of charismatic people is that just being around them encourages self-disclosure. See, look, people actually enjoy having conversation with charismatic people because of things we talked about earlier, your passion, your attentiveness, and it all leads them to talk about themselves. Studies have shown when you're in a conversation with someone and you're actually sharing information about yourself and they're responding to it positively, you'll actually see portions of the brain that's associated with reward and pleasure spark off because of that conversation. These good feelings are actually shaping their perception of you and, in general, that conversation. Gentlemen, we've been talking about these characteristics of charismatic people. And as I mentioned before, these are all things that you can develop in yourself because you don't have to be born a charismatic person. And there might be something as you review these that you'll find is an overarching theme. It is, charisma is about other people. So make them feel important, make them feel comfortable about themselves, and let you and them share emotions so that you can move forward. These things that'll take work, but they are natural when you actually tap into who you are and what you care about. When you're actually present with someone and focusing on them. When you're actually understanding that emotions are contagious. Go out there and be charismatic because it's in you, it can be learned, and it'll change your life when you actually tap into it. If you found this video helpful or raised some things you never thought about, please like, subscribe to the channel, and hey, I'll see you next time. But until then, go be legendary.